Hello and welcome back to Calradia 1403. We're going to do a tournament in Jokala here, just primarily because I'm actually thinking that decorated scale shoulder guards might be a decent upgrade. I'm obviously very much guessing on that, because I don't actually know whether that is indeed the case, but it's going to be funny anyway if, you know, we do manage to survive, because I am playing at 40% HP. Yes. Ow. Well, that was a good start, wasn't it? That was a great start. Okay, nice, nice. Yes, yes, more of that, more of that. Yes, thank you. Oh, wow, she had no idea. She had no idea what she was dealing with. She was dealing with a literal... I was going to say god, but let's not go that far. So I'll say peasant. There we go. That's a little bit more accurate, isn't it? Yes, a little bit more accurate for us. And there we go. Oh, I love playing with a mace, actually. Playing with a mace in RBM, yes. It's very, very nice indeed. Okay, so what we're otherwise going to do is we're going to see... Oh, we got another mace. Okay, very nice indeed. Okay, wait a minute, wait a minute. Can I actually... yeah, we're going to have to deal with the cavalry another time. I'm going to just try to do as much damage as... I'm not dead. I'm not dead. Okay. Whew. There we go. There we go. Okay. Hello. Who was that ran me down? Was it the blue team member or was it the red team member? Because I was thinking to myself that was a bit of friendly fire right there, but maybe it wasn't. Anyway, there we go. That was nice. Okay, it's a 4 versus 1 now. If this guy can actually win... okay. Well... That was actually pretty impressive. That was actually very impressive. But to be fair, I'm going to say it right now. I think his horse was the main thing that actually did the damage to me right there. I don't think he was the one to kill me. So that's funny in itself. Anyway, let me see if I can do some damage. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, we took a little bit of damage. We did a little bit of damage. I would like to do a little more than that, though, please. Okay, what about a nice little couch lance? Oh, what? Did you see that? I actually thought that was going to hit. But apparently not. Okay, here we go. What? Did you see that? That was absolutely ridiculous. That was probably one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. And this is also ridiculous. Look at this. Now we're up against 2 of them. And this is going to be absolutely impossible. Okay, I'm going to bring out my mace now then. And I will try, if I can, to defeat them. Well, there's one of them down. That's not too bad. And now all I need to do is just hit the other one. And this should be pretty easy. I'm not entirely sure. How did he manage to hit my face? That was... insanely unlikely, but he managed to do it nevertheless. Okay, here we go. Nice, nice. Okay, nice. Okay, one more. There we go. That is all I needed. Oh yeah, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, final round. Oh, they gave me a pole arm. Oh dear, this is bad. Okay, here we go. Nice. 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 Okay, more of that. Okay, gotta be careful. Gotta be a little bit careful here. Don't want to get too overzealous with our attacks, just in case, but thankfully he doesn't seem to know how to really defend with that. So, I rolled a 93 on a fine roll. That's fantastic. So we now have fine decorated scale shoulder guards. That means the price for these is now going to skyrocket dramatically. Obviously not as good as if it was legendary or anything like that. As you can quite clearly tell, we still have, you know, it's only 980. I say only, but it's still decent. And it is indeed an upgrade for us as well. And it can now mean that we can now pass down, you know, the thing that we were wearing before, and we can give that to Svala, and she's obviously going to be very happy with that. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're probably going to try, if I can, to see if there is a... there might be a task. A task to eliminate the bandit hideout? I don't think so. Nope, there is not. So what about if there is one at one of these villages? That would be the overall best thing for us right now. Do we want weapon handling or do we want movement speed? For me personally, I don't think we need movement speed right now. I think weapon handling is probably going to be slightly better, especially if we do end up going into a couple of tournaments here and there. Yeah, weapon handling is obviously much, much better in those situations. So let's now make sure, let's just go in here versus some Sea Raiders, because what I'd like to do is level up some of our troops. Obviously, it's a good idea just to make sure that we have a significant number of relatively high tier people, just in case we get into a situation or an opportunity arises where I may in fact be able to fight a vassal. And that's what I'm going to aim to do in this episode. We will be trying to find a vassal that is possible for us to defeat. Because for me personally, I'm not sure if that's really going to work. I don't really... this is the funny thing. I don't really like fighting against anything that's like infantry or anything like that. I personally prefer fighting against cavalry, surprisingly enough. I prefer fighting against cavalry, mostly because we then have the opportunity to just completely murder them with our spearmen, and it's just incredibly fun. And, you know, I had a lot of fun in the previous episode with that, so... You know, I'm kind of hoping that we might get something similar to that sometime soon. Oh, wow, yeah, my horse is doing more damage than I am, actually, most of the time, which is quite amusing. But yeah, anyway, as you can see, we are having a little bit of an issue with the... for some reason, with the weird texturing on the weapon here. Not sure why that's happening. I'm not sure why that's happening. Maybe that's a problem with my installation or something like that. Anyway... 2.2 Renown, 6.1 Influence. This is exactly the reason why I said to you in the previous episode too, that it probably would have been a good idea for me to become a mercenary before we did that Escort Merchant Caravan quest. Because the Escort Merchant Caravan quest would have given us so much influence, and as a result would have translated into a great deal of money. You know, from the mercenaries' wages, you know, it's going to be, that would have been absolutely insane. Anyway, I'm thinking what we're going to do now is level up our riding skill a little bit. I think that sounds like the best course of action. And we're otherwise going to try and get into a battle with these guys. I am actually moving way too slowly to even consider this. So we might have to go and check out some of those villages nearby. We might be able to get a horse or two. Maybe that's gonna you know, improve our speed and stuff like that. Yeah, I would also like to check our brewery, because of course I did actually purchase a brewery, and we're gonna see if that is actually doing anything good for us. How much do I have? 28 days. I'm obviously not that much of a steward person at the moment. I would like to have maybe a companion that does that. Hello, are you a steward? No, you're a scout. Ah, get out of my face then. Ah, that's very sad. Oh well, never mind. Okay, yeah, so let's actually just check that for a real quick second, because I would like to see... Okay, it is... yeah, well, workshops in Bannerlord, yes. 17 gold per day. It's a rather disappointing existence, is it not? Yes, rather disappointing. Okay, yeah, there we go. We managed to get these guys. Hilariously enough, though, they're actually better than I thought. Look at these fellows. They're running around with pretty amazing... you know what? Can we even... You know what? I'm going to try it. Okay, I'm going to try it. I was thinking to myself that maybe we're going to be defeated by a bunch of caravan guards. But I'm hopeful that that will not be the case. So what we're going to do is we'll just move these guys over here, put them like so. We're going to make sure that we're doing a loose formation. Put these guys into a shield wall. And that's it. There we go. Okay, so this should be... should be fine, but obviously if we wanted to have something a little bit slightly better, then we would probably move ourselves back all the way over there to that tree line in the very rear of the battlefield. Do you think I can actually make that? I don't think so, to be honest. Actually, they're just standing there. Oh, okay, that's very... Okay, that's actually kind of annoying. Especially as Rhodoks, you know, Rhodoks, as I said before, they are so incredibly defensive. They are, you know, primarily defensive in nature in comparison to, you know, Swadians or even the Saranids. They are much more aggressive factions because their troops are just capable of doing so much more. You know, Swadian knights and things like that, they're just so much better. Anyway, let's see. Let's actually change these guys to a line formation because otherwise they're going to take forever to get over here. And I'm going to be hopefully making the battle slightly brighter, if I remember to do that, so you can actually see what's going on a little bit easier. And I'm a bit worried about this right now. I mean, I'm not really worried that much about the cavalry, but I'm worried in general about this battle. Maybe I don't need to worry so much, but I think I might have to. Yeah. We might have a bit of an issue here. Okay, yeah, these guys are coming in. Gonna try and do some damage. Obviously, that was pretty awful. But if we can get my infantry out the front and or next to... Whoa, that was insane. That was insane damage. Okay, I almost died. I literally almost died right there. That is not very good. Okay, let's get my guys out here. And I'm going to actually leave them in a line formation right now. Are these fellows... Can you fire at will, please? I'm not sure why I told them to not fire at will, but apparently I did. So that was absolutely... disgustingly bad. Yeah, that was really, really bad. But actually, maybe not so bad, because now the enemy's forces are pretty close to us, and maybe our fellows are gonna just completely destroy them. That is the hope. Is it not? Yeah, that was some nice damage. We only eliminated the horse of the enemy, though, which is not exactly great, but I guess we're going to have to make do with that. Svala is gaining a level. Nice, nice. Yeah, that is exactly what we want. We do want her to level up as much as she possibly can. And actually, you know what I'm going to do? I think I will probably respec her. I don't think she's specced into Doctor's Oath at the moment, which is the reason why her medicine skill is taking so long to level up. So, yeah, that was a nice hit. Okay, the enemy is coming in from behind us, so I'm actually going to get my infantry to come in from the back. I'm going to have them just kind of stand in amongst the archers a little bit, just to make sure that if, you know, any cavalry decide to be a bit cheeky, then they're going to get murdered by some spearmen. Let's put them a little bit more spread out in amongst the archers. I'm going to put them into a loose formation as a result of that. I got to be a bit careful of these guys too, because they can very easily kill us. And no, we seem to be fine. We seem to be doing absolutely fine. This is the reason why I've actually said multiple times now that I think it would be really fun to do a vassal battle, because vassals are going to obviously use a little bit more strategy. And yeah, I was fundamentally thinking that I would die there. Well, never mind. Yeah, my infantry is now going to charge, which is not exactly great. My strategy was to just remain in the tree line there on the hill, but I think it's probably about time anyway, because the enemy's archers are picking us apart a little bit here. But I think the only reason why they're even getting any kills at this point is because we're moving closer to them. If we were to just remain at the back over there and allow our crossbowmen to do their thing, I think we probably would have been okay. You know, our crossbowmen probably would have been pretty easily able to win this. And as you can see, we are actually losing a huge amount of our people now. And I can only hope that the enemy's cavalry is going to be completely useless versus our crossbowmen. You can see here that as I speed up, they are getting a couple of kills, but they're not really capable of doing anything too dramatic. And as a result, there you go. That's a victory for us. So a very nice, a very lucrative amount of renown and influence. And I did end up losing only only 1 crossbowman, which is actually pretty good. However, we did end up losing 6 spearmen, which is not exactly great. But, you know, this is just how things go sometimes in battles like this. This is obviously not exactly great, you know, this is not something that I really badly wanted to happen, of course, but we are definitely going to get rewarded for it. Look at the amount of experience that we've just gained. This is a crazy amount right here, because we're getting 3 additional trained crossbowmen, 4 veterans, we got 2 sharpshooters coming our way too. Then we have some trained spearmen, veteran spearmen, and indeed a Rhodoks sergeant or 2. So that's relatively nice too. And look at what we've got here. This helmet isn't even any good, which is hilarious. It isn't even any good for us. That's very funny, but look at the amount of stuff. This is... okay, you know what? I think I gotta say... roguery skill. I'm thinking roguery skill. I think that might be something that I want to spec a couple of focus points into. Just purely because it's just so good. Roguery skill is just so good. And look at this, I could sell my prisoners for such a significant amount here. Do I have... I don't have a spare focus point, and I am very far away from it. That's very sad. I will have to just deal with the 2 skill points that we get from the roguery now. Ah, well, never mind. And look at this. 17,000 gold. Just straight up from fighting 1 caravan. 29,000, actually. All intents and purposes. So, yeah, that's pretty crazy. And then we can also sell flax, clay, linen, wine, iron ore, tools, fur, leather, jewelry. And we also have a wide little smattering of food supplies as well. 31,000 in total. Wonderful, look at that. Now we have over 100,000 in cash. Let me actually just go in here. Oh, okay, I was actually hoping to recruit a couple of people, but apparently not. Apparently that is not possible for me at this point. Thank you. And so, yeah, I'm gonna go over here and we'll see if maybe we're gonna be able to increase our speed. I'm gonna get 12 of these. That does not increase our speed. That slows us down. As you can see. How much? Yeah, no. Every single one slows us down, actually. Oh, okay. It seems like we have the golden number at the moment. The golden number of of horses. A bit strange. Alright, so we're going into another caravan fight, because let's face it, it's very, very lucrative, and I thought, hey, you know what, why not, and maybe this time around I might be able to... Well, never mind, I was gonna say, I might be able to get a couple of kills, yes, apparently not. Apparently, all they want to do is embarrass me to even greater heights, which is exactly what they did. Well, to a certain degree, I suppose. I mean, that was a pretty good shot. But yes. Oh, nice. That was a good hit. I'm surprised. Okay, let me actually just get these guys into a shield wall instead of loose. I was thinking to myself, if I can spread out a number of my spearmen, then that would actually make a whole bunch of difference, because if one of them can stop 1 cavalry, then another one can stop another, then we would, in essence, have a significant defense against enemy cavalry charges. But unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be how it's going to work. So I'm gonna see if I can maybe get a couple of kills and or hits. I highly doubt I'm gonna get any kills with the crossbow, but you never know, I guess. You never know. Yeah, it does seem to be an issue with the textures of some of these weapons. A bit strange. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with that, as I say, but I guess we'll see as time goes on. Let's just reload the last section here. Nice. Okay. Wow, that was basically pointless, I think. Yeah, probably basically pointless. I think I probably need to do a little bit of shall we say, crossbow leveling against some bandits or something like that. Maybe some sea raiders. Maybe not sea raiders. Maybe forest bandits, actually. Sea raiders have way too much defense. Wow, that was some good damage. Unfortunately, didn't actually kill it. Yeah, okay, we're maybe going to need to do something now because my crossbowmen are clearly not able to hack it at this point. Strangely enough. And I think we'll probably just charge them in. We'll just charge them in, why not? It's about time, I guess. These guys... Yeah, we might need to go line. We might need to go line formation. Let's do it. And we can move our crossbowmen a little bit closer. Ow. Okay, let me see. It's too slow. I think that's the main problem right now that I'm having. Our polearm is too slow for infantry combat. I mean, you know, unless your timing is really, really good, which mine isn't. Okay, I'm gonna actually pull my infantry back right now. Nice. There we go. That's the kind of hit that we want. That is exactly the kind of hit we want. Decent reach, decent timing, not too bad. You know, I don't want like one-shot kills. I mean, yeah, I'll definitely welcome it, but in most cases, all I'm really wanting to do is just have some decent damage every single time. That's it. Just average damage, and then that's good enough for me. Yeah, unfortunately, the texture of this weapon is distracting me quite a huge amount right now, so it's a little bit difficult for me to actually aim. But yeah, alright, there we go. We actually managed to get this guy's horse dead, so that's nice. And yeah, I think we can probably... I think we could probably charge. I think we could probably charge everyone in right now. I don't even think we need to really worry too much about this. And maybe I can do some damage with this. Oh no, apparently not. Wow, okay. I thought that thrusting attack would probably stop the cavalry in its tracks. But no. Yeah, no. It's, we've got very low polearm skill. That is extremely sad, isn't it? Okay, there we go. That is indeed a victory for us. And let's have a look. Yeah, very nice. Look at that. 10 renown, 20 influence. Generally, all I'm trying to do right now is just level up my troops. Level up my troops and try to level up my clan tier. Clan tier level up is extremely important to me right now. Oh! Also, getting my horse a new piece of armor. This is insane. This is so good. That is going to make a huge difference to us, because as you could just see right there, my horse immediately got shot in the face and died very quickly. So yeah, this is where we currently are, by the way. I basically decided to come down here to Aserai territory. Aserai. It's not the Aserai, you idiot. It's the Saranids. Yes. There we go. I'm talking to myself, of course. So yeah, anyway. Yeah, we're here. Now, I'm going to just go very quickly over to Jalmaris. This is a perfect location, by the way. I've been preying upon a couple of caravans in this area, trying to pick them off, or yeah, should we say trying to pick them off. And yeah, it's not super easy or free, but you could see here, these things, they sell for so much cash. Look at this, 5,500 from this. And my roguery skill is also, of course, leveling up. So, yeah, let's go for 20% chance. It's kind of pointless. I think we'll just go for the 5% raid speed, even though we're not really going to be raiding anything as far as I'm aware. I mean, raiding is good, don't get me wrong. Raiding is a really nice way of making some extra cash sometimes. But most of the time I feel like, no, it's probably not worth it. I'm not using a bow either, so I'm going to sell the bow. And there we go. 35,000 in cash. And free food as well, which is hilarious. I actually think that this might, in fact, be one of the most lucrative ways I have seen ever when it comes to gaining cash because every single time we fight a caravan, we get about 30,000, 35,000. And if you can catch them, they're really not very difficult, you know? They're not super, super difficult to eliminate. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to be changing her intelligence. There we go. Medicine. There we are. 3,600. That's absolutely fine. And basically what I'm going to do is just respec her perks. This is how you respec perks if you didn't know. There are some people that ask me every so often how to do that. And I thought I was... okay, that's really funny. I literally went here and I thought to myself, wait a minute, why does she only have 9 in medicine? No, it's the wrong person. Yes, it's, yeah, there we go. It was the wrong person, of course. Okay, so preventive medicine, of course, that is what we want, I think. We could go for... no, preventive medicine, I guess. And yeah, we're going to be going for triage tent rather than walk it off, even though Walk It Off does provide us with plus 10 hit point recovery after each battle, but I believe that is indeed personal. So that doesn't really help us that much as a party. And then we're going to be going for Doctor's Oath. I'm pretty sure she was using sledges before, and I don't really like that. So we're going to be going for Doctor's Oath, and she is going to absolutely destroy with this thing. It is going to be incredibly powerful. That thing moving way too fast, 6.2. But yeah, this is going to be incredibly good. Like, if we can actually get a couple of people... Wait a minute, are they moving slower than us? No. No, they're actually not. Never mind. Okay, yeah. Anyway, if we can actually get into a battle against any of these guys, we are going to have an amazing amount of medicine skill increase. And basically just going into an auto-resolve or something like that is going to be incredibly good. So let's see if I can actually... Oh, here we go. Look at this. Look at this. This is exactly what I have been attempting to do this entire time. And I found a perfect location for it because there are just so many bodies of water nearby. It's basically impossible for the opponent to get away. And you can see exactly why that is. Look at this. Super nice and simple. Boom, there it is. Okay, very nice. So this is just another little bit of well, not really a tip, so to speak, but you know, it's just one of those places in Bannerlord that you can use to further your power in some way or another, because obviously there are a bunch of different environmental advantages that you can gain just by fighting in a specific place or attacking an enemy in a specific place. And it's the same thing with the world map itself, because obviously the world map does have an impact on what kind of battlefield you get, of course. And well, obviously if you fight next to some cliffs, then you're going to get cliffs. If you fight next to a river, you're going to get a river. And similar things to, you know, trees and, you know, fields and so on. And it really does make a big difference. It really does. You know, having the ability to kind of manipulate that and strategize about that, that's really, really fun as well. Because when you actually get that working and it actually pays off in a big way, especially considering, let's face it, I love bridges, right? Bridges are amazingly good. If you can find a map with a bridge and you're using an army similar to mine right now, you're going to have a great time. You know, as we saw, you know, as we saw in the previous episode, it was absolutely amazing. Really, really fun to play on as well. And it really felt so satisfying to do that, because most of the time when I do a strategy like this is so basic, right? It's just so basic. There's nothing really for me to do here except just let my crossbowmen shoot, you know, keep my infantry out in the front there, you know, those kinds of sort of standard things that, you know, you do most of the time. However, when it comes to those extra map sets where you actually are going to get a little bit of extra flavor, it's just amazingly cool and really, really fun, you know, every time that happens, which is rare, you know, that's the funny thing. It is quite rare to find those map sets. Yeah, it's a little bit sad, actually. It's a little bit sad that it is so rare, but I guess it happens, right? You know. It happens. Anyway, let's just try and get a couple of kills here. Obviously, it's a lot easier for me to kill these guys because they basically have no armor whatsoever in comparison to the mounted troops. I'd prefer to kill the mounted troops, to be honest, because obviously they're much better for us. They're going to provide us with much more HP, but you can see here, look at how much damage I can do because I'm just hitting them in the face. Yes. And I'm just absolutely murdering them all, which obviously is intended, you know? This is a gameplay mechanic right here, you know? Attacking them with a weapon and doing damage to them is going to eliminate them from the battle. And they are going to then run back home, and they're going to think, wow, that guy was really good at this game. And yeah, I'm not as good as Barney Beartilt. Yes, indeed. That's what they're going to think. And then we must be, you know, just in awe about this. Just absolutely in awe about how crazy good Barney Beartilt is at eliminating a couple of armed traders who are basically like peasants. So, Barney Beartilt beat a bunch of peasants. Yes. Wow. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, we actually did a lot better this time around. Funnily enough, I'm actually not entirely sure why. We did a lot better, as in my army is... I think it's because we've leveled up quite a bit, haven't we? Yeah, we have 12 sharpshooters now in comparison to what we had before, which I think we had 5. So we've more than doubled the amount of very, very strong troops that we had before. So that is really making a big difference. I also have a massive amount of chainmail horse armor right now. Is Svala actually a... No, she isn't. I know she's not. So the question is, do we want her to have anything like that? For me personally, I don't want her to have a mount because I think she's probably going to just run in and get killed almost instantaneously. And that generally does happen quite often, I think. So I'd like to try and prevent that just by not giving her one, you know? Just not give her one and just, you know, play it a little bit safe. And as you can see, I am almost clan tier 2. Once we are clan tier 2, I think we can indeed, yes we can. We can become a vassal. Now, obviously, by that point, I'm very much hoping that we'll have a really, really large amount of cash saved up. And that's obviously also the reason why I became a mercenary, because it does cover a lot of various, you know, expenditures and things like that. And indeed, I'm just going to be selling absolutely every single thing here. Oh yeah, unfortunate for me, but I am now maxed out. I've actually taken all the stuff that I can from here. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy a new horse or two, and I'm going to be equipping that because I now have riding skill. I actually have riding skill 72, which is actually kind of crazy. You know what? I'm going to use this charger horse instead. Actually, wait. Wait a minute. Palmation. We're going to use the Palmation. It's gonna make them have a little bit of extra money here, which is, I think, fine. I don't really mind about that too much. And we're still just going to get 22,000, which is great. So we got a massive upgrade to our mount in this episode. We got a crazy good set of horse armor, and we also got a new mount itself. So that's really, really nice. And I'm thinking that I'm going to replace my polearm. I think I might replace my polearm as well. So let's actually have a look and see whether there's anything here that might be useful. Okay, there's a military glaive. That is even longer. Okay, I'm not sure if I can actually do anything with that. Yeah, no, most of these things are not actually going to work out too well for me. So, yeah, we're going to have to check that a little bit more. But otherwise, I think that's probably going to be it for this episode. So, unfortunately for me, I wasn't able to fight a vassal in this episode, but we did ascertain that caravans are very doable. And that means that we're actually getting that much closer to being able to eliminate a vassal itself. And if I can get to clan tier 2, which I will probably do off screen, I only need to do one more battle, maybe two, with a caravan, and then I'll be clan tier 2. And in the next episode, we will then decide to attack a vassal, because we'll have a greater party size, of course. Anyway, I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.